And this is Jared. This is Kidtalk.
Kidtalk is where we talk to people who make games, design games.
And pretty much anyone who likes games.
Yeah, and today we're interviewing Paula Deming with Things Get Dicey. Hi!
Hi! I think I fall into the category of a person who likes games.
Thanks for spending some of your time with us today.
We fall into the category of all those.
All of them.
We are trying to make games and design games, but we definitely
really?
like games.
Well, I think if you're doing it, you're more than trying. You are. You're making games, you're designing games. That's pretty
exciting.
exciting.
Definitely like games.
And I definitely like games.
Yesterday and today, so far I've made 3 prototypes.
3 prototypes in one day. That is
2 days.
Prolific.
He
2 days.
really likes art and games, so making prototypes is sort of his thing.
Yesterday I did one where you're flicking at a tiny monster token to make it fall into like this castle tower, and then another one where monsters are coming after your village while you're trying to build it.
Though honestly, I feel like you'd be trying to knock the monster out of the castle tower.
Well, you're
not into the castle tower.
Well, if you're playing from the point of view of the monster,
you're
and you want to get into the castle.
Well, you are out of the castle. You are basically a tiny cardboard thing that's being flipped.
Okay, normally we start our interviews with a game called 5 Second Rule. I think we've already started the interview, but let's go ahead and do the game.
That's right. Keep us on track here. That's right. Very good.
Have you ever played 5 Second Rule?
I have not played 5 Second Rule.
You try naming 3 things from this prompt in 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Now, I want everyone to know I've been awake for less than 1 hour. So
the timer.
Bring the timer in the middle. Okay, I'll flip it over.
Oof. Hope my brain works.
Wait, have you ever seen American Ninja Warrior?
I've watched clips of it on YouTube.
Okay, name 3 American Ninja Warrior obstacles.
Okay, the big thing you climb up at the end. The thing like the monkey bars, but it's rings that swing. Oh.
You have to name the names of them. The warped wall, monkey bars, and then the salmon ladder is what I would name.
Name 3 Oreo flavors.
Oh. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry.
You got it.
Phew. Good old Neapolitan.
One more.
Name 3 constellations.
Orion's. And the things that the
Nope.
What were
you at least named Orion. I would never name that one.
That's the only one I know. My pawpaw, who is my grandpa on my mom's side, showed me Orion when I was a kid and told me a whole story about it. So that's one that I always look up in the sky and notice.
When I was talking to you earlier about the prototypes, I'm going to ask you the question I was going to. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I want to, this is an easy one for me. I've thought about it before. I want to be able to teleport places.
That might be interesting.
Yeah, because here's why. So I have made, since getting into board games actually specifically, I've made a lot of new friends who live really far away from me. I'm lucky because I live in Southern California and there are a lot of other board game people here in the Los Angeles-ish area. But some of my best friends I've made through board games live really far away. And it would be really nice to be able to just like teleport there and see them and hang out and have a game night and then just teleport home and not have to wait for, say, a convention to be a reason we all travel to be in some place together. So I would teleport if I had a superpower.
So I will go to some place.
And then you just boop, and you're gone, and then you're there. Wouldn't that be convenient?
Yes. But something weird that reminded me of it.
I'm trying to ask a question.
When I snapped, it's weird that I learned how to snap and my brother still doesn't know how to snap.
I can't snap.
Sometimes it takes time. I can't snap. This is not on topic, but I can't snap with the finger most people use to snap. I think a lot of people use their second finger, but I have to use my third finger to snap. So you might try different fingers. That might help.
That's annoying.
Actually, yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Wait,
I can't do it with my pinky. My pinky's too short.
Normally they do it like this, not like this.
Yeah, I'm weird. I'm different. I don't know if you could figure that out from any of my videos, but I'm a little bit weird sometimes, and so that's one of the ways.
Okay, the question that I've been trying to ask for a while. Why'd you decide to start doing funny videos about board games?
Can't even ask.
So I've been playing board games for a while, and I was watching a lot of board game videos online, and realized that even though about half of my game group that I played with at home was half women and half men, we were pretty even split there, I wasn't seeing a lot of women in the board game videos I was watching. And I thought, well, that's weird because I know that women and girls play board games. I wonder if I could make something where I just show that women are part of this hobby, just help make us a little more visible. And I knew I didn't want to do board game reviews because I don't think I'm a natural when it comes to talking about why I like a game or don't like a game in a way that is like right now, I can't even, see how that's I'm not articulating that very well. But something that I do is I'm an actor and I love comedy. And so I thought, well, what if I take these two things I really love, comedy and acting as one thing, and board games, and I put them together. And maybe that's something that will feel really unique and natural for me while I express my love for these things. And so that's why I decided to start making videos that were just jokes about board games, because that's what really felt natural to me. It's things that I love. So that's why I decided to start.
What's your favorite board game category?
My favorite board game category. I love any board game that has a narrative to it, like a story-focused board game.
So role-playing games?
I love role-playing games, or anything like a legacy game that might have a story you can go along with. So Clank Legacy is really fun because you're your characters that go through it as you go and you're reading different story cards, or something like Above and Below, if you've played that has a book in it, so that as you flip over certain cards, you have an encounter. And then that tells you go to this page in this book. And then you flip over to the book and you read it. Here's what happens to you. You come across an old man in the road and he wants you to give him 2 coins. Do you give him 2 coins? Do you, kick him in the shins and run off? And then you choose, and then something happens to you. And I really like games that have those kinds of things in them.
Do you have Role Player?
I do have, well, I don't actually have Role Player, but I've played it on Tabletopia a bunch, and I really like it. I'll be honest, at first I thought I wasn't going to like it, and then I started playing it, and I really like that game a lot.
I love how each card has a story. It doesn't change throughout the game, but it's definitely fun to customize your character in different ways.
You kind of feel like you are that character, and since I'm an actor, I really like anything that gives me that kind of an experience.
When did you actually start playing games?
So I grew up playing board games, a lot of the kinds of stuff that you might find at Target or a store like that. So I grew up playing games with my parents. I played a lot of Cootie. Have y'all played Cootie? I don't even know if some of these games, if you would even have heard of them now.
Nope.
Cootie, Mousetrap, The Game of Life. Yeah, Clue.
Don't Break the Ice.
I never played Don't Break the Ice, but games like that. A game called Mall Madness. That's really fun. That I would like them to remake.
I've heard it.
It's pretty fun. So games like that, and I loved Clue, again, because I could kind of pretend like I was in this murder mystery story. And then as I got older, I stopped playing games so much. And then when I met my partner, he was really into games. So this would be like 10 years ago or something. He was really into games, more like the kinds of games that we're probably playing now, what we would consider like hobby games. And he introduced me to Settlers of Catan and Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is a big story kind of game. And so from there, that's when I got kind of back into the more like hobby style of games. But I've played games really basically my whole life.
I remember seeing your video that you had of where you were like going from not being a board gamer to being a professional board gamer.
Yeah.
That was like the first video I saw of Things Get Dicey.
Yeah.
In your cleanup video, when there was a coin on that plate, was that coin real?
Like, did you actually destroy the coin?
I did not destroy the coin. So that was a little movie magic there. So the coin was real and it was on the plate. And what we did was we actually took a little plastic cup and we cut it so it was really small and we put it inside of the drain in the sink so that when I dumped the coin into the sink, it fell into that cup so that we could pull it out easily. And then in a new shot, we ran the water in the sink and flipped on the garbage disposal. But in the editing, because you cut to a different shot, you can hide the fact that the camera changed. So it feels kind of like the coin is still in there and we flipped on the garbage disposal, but we haven't actually. So no coins were destroyed in the making of the video, but it kind of looks like it was.
But
So you don't actually destroy game pieces when you show that it looks like you're destroying them.
Most of the time, no. Sometimes we do rip up cards. You can't really fake that.
What about burning cards? I've seen you burn up a card in one of your videos.
We did actually burn that card, but it's not the card it looks like it is. So, and that is a video where we burned a magic card. And we just had a land card. I don't know how familiar you are with Magic the Gathering, but you have cards that are mana or lands, and they kind of power the spells that you're going to play, which are your other cards. And so some cards are more rare and therefore more valuable than others. And your mana cards, your lands, aren't game stores will just like give you those like 10 cents a piece or something. You can just get them. So we took one of those that had no actual value and burned it. But then we took an image of a very valuable card, the Black Lotus, I believe is what it is. And through visual effects in post-production, we made it look like that was the image on the card that we were burning. But we were just burning basically a worthless card. What do y'all think when you watch game pieces get destroyed in a video?
The first
do you think
thing I
that's
wonder
fun,
is,
or does it make you go, oh no?
the first thing I wonder is, do you buy the game and just use one game piece and you just have the extra game with one game piece gone if it's like a small game, or do you just not care about it?
It depends on the game. So for some videos, so I did a rules video for Parks, their Nightfall expansion. And in that I make a s'more with a card. I realize I destroy a lot of game pieces in videos. We put a card in a s'more and then I bite into it so it looks like I've bitten into the card. So Keymaster Games, who makes Parks, sent us multiple copies of that. So we had an extra so that we knew if we destroy this one card, it's okay because we have an unruined version of the game still. But for other things, a lot of times we will try to use like cards from legacy games that you're supposed to destroy anyway, but we just like tucked under the box. And then maybe I'll rip up that. So I try not destroy pieces from a game that we want to play that would be irreplaceable.
What's your favorite game mechanic?
Oh, my favorite game mechanic. I really like tile laying, and I really like dice worker placement.
Dice worker placement?
Yeah, so like actually
You're placing dice around?
Yeah, Role Player is actually a great example of that. So,
I thought that was just dice placement.
So it's like worker, well, and it could be, dice placement or dice worker placement. I feel like they're a little bit interchangeable. Or it's always possible that I'm saying it a little bit wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that. So yeah, it's where you take dice, and instead of in a game where maybe normally you would have like meeples that you place out to do things with, instead we're placing dice. And I think that's really fun. I think it's fun to roll the dice and use them for something other than like a 6 is a really good value and a 1 isn't, like for a success. But instead you roll and you use that number to do an action. I think that's really fun.
How many games do you have?
That's the impossible question.
I think I've got like 108. I have just less than 200 games, I think. I think I have like 185, maybe?
Okay, I said that was the impossible question. The impossible question is, what is your favorite game? I'm not asking that because that's the impossible question. You can never answer that. Though. Apparently, this is not the impossible question for you. What's your favorite game?
My favorite game is Modern Art. Have you heard of this one?
No.
It's really fun. So it's designed by Reiner Knizia.
Strange name.
I don't know. I feel like I say it wrong every time. I'm sorry, Dr. Knizia. But it's one of his games, and it's a game where you are trying to sell art. And it has auctions and bidding in it. And so you have a hand of cards, and on your turn you say, okay, I'm putting this piece of art up for auction. And there are different styles of auctions that you can do, and everyone else around the table decides if they want to try and buy that piece of art. At the end of the round, that art only has any point value at all based on how much of it sold. So the artist who sold the most, their paintings are going to be worth the most. So it's all about investing. And I'm making it sound very boring, but here's the thing. I like to get into the game. So I put on a silly voice, as you can probably imagine, and I'm like, well, here we are, this beautiful piece of art. It's a woman standing under an umbrella, and I describe it all funny, and then I make people bid on it. And my friends and I just laugh a lot when we play the game, and I think it's really, really fun.
Well, I am interested because I love art.
You might really like it because all the cards, it has real art on it. You should look at the version that they published in like 1991 that has, I will say, very ugly art on it. But that makes it even funnier to try and sell, I think. To be like, your parents will get this. Here's a magic eye painting. Who wants to buy it for $30,000,
Do you like playing games competitively, or do you like playing cooperative games more?
I really like both, and it kind of depends on the mood I'm in,
If you just woke up and are playing a game.
If I just woke up and I'm playing a game, cooperatively, probably. It's nice to work together.
In the afternoon.
Or like
in the afternoon.
A calm, competitive one like Reef.
Yeah, a calm, competitive one might be good. But for some people, someone I play games with on stream, I play a lot of live stream board games with one of my best friends, Matthew Jude. And we play a lot of competitive games. And that's really fun because we kind of like get into it and we pretend like we're kind of mad at each other about things that happen in the game, even though we aren't really mad. So that's really fun to be competitive with him. But there are some people, like if I'm playing, say, maybe with my sister, we might actually get mad at each other. I don't know if you guys can relate to that at all. And so in that scenario, sometimes it's better to play a cooperative game because then we can play a game but not have to worry about one of us getting too competitive and accidentally getting mad.
Well,
I play really competitive and sometimes get mad.
I really want to win a game, I will win the game.
Ooh.
What would you like more, gelatinous cubes or mountain lions?
Oh my gosh, which would I like more, gelatinous cubes or mountain lions? Oh.
Do you know what
both would attack you, probably.
Both would attack me now, and I could end up inside of both of them, is the thing,
Unless
but I feel like...
Either dissolved or undissolved.
I think undissolved is better, so I'm going to go with mountain lion.
Because mountain lions is...
Mountain lion, you'd probably be chewed up.
You can also ride a mountain lion.
That's
you cannot
true.
You can't really
I can
tame a
charm
gelatinous
the
cube.
mountain lion, make it my friend, and now I can ride the mountain lion, and then the mountain lion will eat the gelatinous cube. Done.
It can't really eat it because then its mouth would dissolve.
Fair point. We'll just run away from the gelatinous cube.
Well, you can't. You can't ride on a gelatinous cube because if you put a saddle on it, the saddle would just
You go.
dissolve.
Yep.
So like we start all of our interviews with a game, we end all of our interviews with a game too.
Okay.
This game is called Would You Rather. We just ask you, would you rather do something or something?
Would you rather not be able to read or not be able to talk?
Oh no, I love both those things so much.
I would rather not be able to talk. I would learn sign language. I love reading.
I know it's tough. I would choose to be able to read and not talk, because that's good logic. You could write out what you want to say or learn sign language. I choose reading.
But then people who don't know sign language that watch your videos don't know what you're saying.
We're gonna have to make them all learn sign language.
Would you rather, during a rainy or windy storm, be stuck in a 150-foot well or up in a 150-foot tree?
Up in the tree. It's a rainy and windy storm. If I'm in the well, what if the well fills up with water, but I can swim? So then I can rise to the top of the well in the water. You know what? Well, I've changed my mind. I'll be in the well.
Because if you're on the tree, then you have a bigger chance of getting struck by lightning.
That is so true. I'm in the well, definitely. Yes.
But also in the well, there's water, so you also have a bigger chance of, not a smaller chance of getting struck by lightning.
Or maybe sharks. Are there sharks in the storm? Is it like a Sharknado situation?
No.
I have no idea.
Okay, good. Then definitely. What is a Sharknado?
If it was a fishnado, what would you choose?
Well. Still well. I take the fish. I turn them into sushi. I get a snack during the storm.
Unless it's just a tornado.
If it's just a regular tornado.
Fishnado.
Oh, boy. It's rough.
Would you rather have to talk holding your tongue with one of your hands or have to put your hand over one of your eyes to see?
Ooh, I feel like a hand over my eye to see. Because this is going to get very difficult to do. You can't even really understand me. You know?
Yeah, I also don't think the closed caption would even catch what you're saying.
It would have no idea.
And in your video where you're a detective,
that wouldn't be very detective-like to
and
be
you
like...
can't, and you can't see, because in the detective video you have glasses and you can't see well, so if you weren't holding your eyes, you could not see.
I can't see at all. Neither one is good, and I suspect that's the point of the game, isn't it? They're tough decisions.
Would you rather have one of your eyes be vertical or have your nose be horizontal?
One eye be vertical, not both. Or your nose be horizontal.
Then you can either smell one cheek or smell the other cheek.
What would you choose?
I wouldn't be able to read very well with one of my eyes pointed weird, so my nose. The only thing that I rely on to smell that I know of is pretty much just when dinner's ready.
And that you can still do that when it's pointed out, and maybe you can smell dinner better when it's all horizontal on your face.
Well, actually, if you lick your nose, you can smell better. So if you lick your nose and have...
How do you lick your nose when it's horizontal?
Lick your finger and then put your finger on your nose.
That's resourceful.
This was really fun talking to you today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great time talking with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we can interview sometime again.
Yeah, I would love that. And hopefully we can be somewhere together sometime soon, and maybe we can play a game together. I can try and beat you at a dexterity game.
Try beating Peyton. I'm horrible at them.
I hope we can go to a convention.
Yeah, that would be very fun. Fingers crossed.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks for hanging out with us on this episode of Kid Talk.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
See you later. Bye!